Hey, David, why don't we check out some open houses this weekend?
Huh? Why would we go to those?
I was looking at listings in our area. There's a really nice one within our budget.
We don't need to look at houses.
I think it's time we bought our own house. We've saved up quite a bit.
What's bringing this up suddenly?
It's not sudden. We've been saving for 2 years now.
What? We don't need a house now. Living with my parents is fine.
Fine for who exactly?
For everyone. What's wrong with our current arrangement?
What are you talking about? We only moved in with your parents to save money for a down payment. What's the point of living with them if we're not going to buy a house? Have you given up on our original plan?
The point is, we're saving money every month.
That was never meant to be permanent.
But living with my parents means we don't have to pay rent. It really helps with expenses.
We already have enough saved for a decent down payment.
Why waste money on a mortgage when we have a perfectly good living situation?
Sorry, but I never planned to live with them forever. And to be honest, I'm at my breaking point.
What? Why?
Are you seriously asking me that?
Yes, I am. What's wrong with living here?
You live here too, so you must know. Your parents criticize me every day and make snide remarks about my job and the housework. I'm tired of it.
You're being too sensitive.
Am I? Just yesterday, your mother complained about how I fold laundry.
Well, my parents can be a bit harsh with their words, but they're not wrong, are they?
Excuse me?
If you helped out more, they wouldn't have to say anything.
I work 50 hours a week to support this family, and you expect me to fold laundry perfectly?
See? You use work as an excuse to dump all the housework and childcare on them. Of course my parents are going to complain when they see their son being taken advantage of by his wife.
Taken advantage of? Are you serious?
You're barely home. They're raising Emma more than you are.
Well then, David, why don't you earn enough to support everyone? I'm not working this much because I want to.
What did you say?
You heard me. I'd love to be home more, and I'd love to help out more around the house if I could. I want to spend more time with our daughter, Emma, too. But who's going to pay the bills if I don't work? If you're going to complain, why don't you get a full-time job?
What's with that attitude? Are you looking down on me because I'm part-time?
That's not what I said.
You clearly think you're better than me because you make more money.
I'm not looking down on you, but if you're going to criticize me, you should try harder. I'm the main breadwinner, yet I'm expected to handle housework and childcare too. It's exhausting. And all these snide remarks from your parents, they're just upset that their daughter-in-law makes more than their son, aren't they?
Don't bring my parents into this.
They're already involved. They make that clear every day.
My parents aren't that narrow-minded. No matter how much you earn, you're still just a wife. Don't forget that a wife's primary duty is housework and childcare.
Then what's a husband's primary duty? Isn't it providing for the family?
Shut up. Gender roles don't matter these days.
You just contradicted yourself completely.
What do you mean?
But you just said I have duties because I'm the wife.
That's different.
How is it different?
Look, I'm happy living with my parents. It's better for Emma too, living in a lively house with everyone. So we don't need to go looking at houses.
You're not even considering my feelings about this. Having our own home has always been my dream. You agreed that we should save money to buy our own house 2 years ago, before we moved in with your parents. What's changed?
Hey, I know. You want to build something so badly. Let's renovate my parents' house.
What?
Wouldn't that be perfect? We can make it nicer for everyone. The plumbing's getting old and Mom and Dad have been wanting to update things. Let's use our down payment savings to fix up the house.
Are you kidding me? I absolutely refuse. That's not what I've been saving money for.
Come on, be reasonable.
I am being reasonable. That money is for our house.
What's the big deal? Why are you so against it?
Because it's not our house. It's your parents' house.
But we live here too.
Let me make this clear. If you go ahead with renovation plans behind my back, I won't forgive you. I'll take Emma and leave. Hey, Sarah, I need to talk to you about something. What is it? Why won't you help pay for the renovations? You've been taking advantage of my parents all this time. The least you could do is show some gratitude. What? Don't play dumb. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I don't. I heard everything from my brother. He said you're opposing the renovation plans for the house, and you even threatened divorce. That is so low. He told you about that conversation? Of course he did. We're family. Well, obviously, he hasn't told you the whole truth. He's painted an unfair picture of me as the bad guy, but I'm the one that's been having a hard time here. Unfair? My brother came to me crying. He said his wife refused to help with the renovation costs. He had to swallow his pride and beg me to lend him some money. David came to you crying? He was devastated by your behavior. What? So David was trying to go ahead with the renovations anyway, even after I explicitly told him not to? Don't raise your voice at me. I'm typing, Jenny. Don't get smart with me. You're being completely unreasonable. Why are you so against renovating? You've been nothing but a burden on my parents since you moved in. You dump all the housework and childcare on them and just laze around the house. You have no right to veto the renovation plans. What David does with his savings is none of your business. Who's lazing around? Everyone can see it. See what exactly? I've heard all about what a terrible wife you are. You take advantage of living here and don't do any of the hard work. And when my parents try to correct you, you talk back to them and order them to do the housework themselves. I hear Emma's picking up your awful attitude too. She completely disrespects my parents. Seriously? David said all that? Every word? About his own daughter too? Unbelievable. My brother was crying, feeling so guilty about how you treat our parents. He just wants to repay them by making their house nicer, but you said there's no point spending money on old people because they'll be dead soon. How dare you? They deserve to live in comfort for the rest of their lives. I never said anything like that. You're calling my brother a liar now? I would never say something so disrespectful to your parents. Stop lying. You've been living here comfortably, so you should start contributing some money. Got it, you ungrateful wife? Do your job and support your husband. I work full-time to support this family. Oh, please, spare me the working woman act. It's not an act. I work 50 hours a week. That doesn't excuse you from family obligations. And what exactly are David's obligations? Don't try to change the subject. This is about you and the renovations. No, this is about David lying to you. You need to show more respect to this family. I need to talk to David about this. Don't you dare make my brother feel worse than he already does. I think there's been a misunderstanding. You shouldn't butt in until you know the whole truth. The only thing I understand is that you're being selfish and ungrateful. We'll see about that. What's going on, David? Why are you spreading lies to Jenny?
What lies?
And I know you're going ahead with the renovation plans.
Oh, wait, I can explain.
Please do, I'm listening.
Well, did Jenny tell you everything?
Yes, how you asked Jenny for renovation money and how you painted me as a terrible wife to do it.
You're making it sound worse than it is.
How should it sound? You told her I insulted your parents.
But I had no choice. I'm tired of being caught between you and my parents.
Caught between us?
You don't understand the pressure I'm under.
Then help me understand.
Actually, my parents have been asking about renovating for a while. They want us to stay instead of building a new house and turn this into a two-family home.
You never told me that.
Because I knew how you would react.
You mean honestly, like a normal person?
Of course I refused at first. I knew you'd never agree, but they wouldn't back down.
So you went behind my back instead?
They're my parents. What was I supposed to do?
Talk to me, your wife? But instead, when I immediately said no, you decided to rope Jenny in to force it through.
I needed support.
Support in lying about me?
Look, why don't we just give up on building our own house and make this a two-family home? I'll tell Jenny I lied about everything. And if my parents give you any more grief, I'll tell them off.
Now you'll tell them off after months of criticism and harassment?
I'm trying to fix this.
Protecting your wife from nasty comments and admitting your lies should be a given, not a bargaining chip. Listen, I absolutely won't pay for renovating your parents' house. If you're so set on a two-family home, build it yourself. But like I said, if you do that, I'll take Emma and leave.
You're being unreasonable.
I'm being unreasonable? You lied about me to your entire family.
What's your problem? After all this begging, you could at least try to do what your husband asked. You stingy, stubborn witch.
Excuse me?
You heard me. You never listen.
I listen plenty. I just don't agree with your lies.
Fine, that's how you want it, then leave. Get a divorce, do whatever you want.
Is that really what you want?
Maybe it is.
Oh, so now you're the one getting angry? Oh, fine, let's both cool down. For now, all renovation and construction plans are off the table. We'll talk about this again when we're both calmer.
Whatever.
We need to discuss this properly.
There's nothing to discuss. You've made your position clear.
And you've made yours clear by lying to your family.
Just leave me alone for now.
Fine, but this isn't over.
It never is with you.
What's going on, Jenny? This morning, renovation contractors suddenly showed up at the house saying they were here to explain the construction timeline. I knew nothing about this, and they said you're the one who signed the contract. What's going on? Oh, you finally noticed? What do you mean, finally noticed? It's simple. You refused to help with the renovation, so I decided to rebuild it myself. What? Why are you so surprised? Someone had to step up. Step up and do what exactly? I've been wanting to move back home anyway, and my company said I could transfer to a position that allows remote work, so I decided to go ahead and rebuild the house. Without consulting anyone who lives here? I consulted with Mom and Dad. What? Oh, don't worry about the money. Unlike someone stingy, I'm generous with both my wallet and my heart. I work for a big company and make good money. Paying for house renovations is no problem for me. This isn't about money, isn't it? That's all you seem to care about. So this means we'll all be living together, your parents, us, and you? Actually, no. No? No, it'll just be 2 generations living together because you're getting kicked out. What did you say? You heard me perfectly well. You're kicking me out of my home? My parents' home. You and Emma need to leave. Then it'll be just my brother, our parents, and my family living together peacefully without any strangers getting in our way. Why are you kicking my daughter and I out? Do you really need to ask? Yes, I do. Isn't it obvious? We don't want to live with such a disrespectful daughter-in-law, and definitely not with a sassy little brat who's learning to look down on her grandparents like you do. I can't believe this is happening. Believe it, the house renovations won't have rooms for you and your kid. There's no place for a lazy wife like you anymore. That's fine, but are you sure about this? What do you mean? Are you really sure you want to do this? Worry about yourself. I've never heard of an in-law getting kicked out of the house they're living in. My brother's pretty angry about how stubborn you've been. And if you get divorced, life will be tough as a single mom. But don't come crying to us. You asked for this by behaving the way you did. Is that supposed to scare me? It should. Divorce is totally fine. Actually, it would be a relief. What? You heard me. Well then, I'll pack my things and leave with Emma. I'll leave the divorce papers here too. Have David sign them and file them as soon as possible, will you? Having a practically jobless husband and critical in-laws is just dead weight. I'm better off without them. You can't be serious. I'm absolutely serious. What? I know you work hard at your New York-based company, and if you have a stable income at a big company, that's reassuring. You can be the new breadwinner for your parents instead of me. Instead of you? What are you talking about? The breadwinner of our family is David, obviously. You're just the wife. Normally the man should be the breadwinner. Is that what he told you? What do you mean? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Having a husband that actually supports his wife. But David currently works part-time and makes about $15,000 a year. It's pretty difficult for him to be the breadwinner, so I've been supporting the family with my income. Part-time work? What do you mean? This is the first I'm hearing about this. Of course it is. He probably couldn't tell his sister that he was demoted to part-time because he was so incompetent. What? Should I continue? Yeah, go ahead. David's income was never that high to begin with, but I didn't mind. I figured I could just earn more myself. Even after we had a child, I tried my best at work, but David seemed to hate that I made more than him. He kept saying things like, "It's your fault I can't focus on work," and slacked off, which just made promotions and raises even more impossible for him. Really? Want to hear more? Keep going. Finally, he ended up on the layoff list during the recent downturn. But the company took pity on him and said, "We can keep you on as part-time since you have a family to provide for." That's how he became part-time, and that's when we started living with your parents. Oh my God, you're kidding, right? I wish. It was going to be tough to buy a house on just my income, so I wanted to save up more for a down payment. That's why we moved in with your parents. Looking back, it was probably a mistake. I never thought living here would be this exhausting. I can't believe my brother is just working part-time as a grown man. Don't say that. David is actually quite sensitive and gets hurt easily. Oh, and that's not all. There's one more important detail that you should know. What? Your parents have been spending all their pension and have almost no savings. This means that you'll have to become the breadwinner. What? But that shouldn't be a problem for you, right? Since you're working for a big company in the city. It's great that you can earn enough to cover renovation costs without a moment's hesitation. This is not great at all. Sure, I work for a big company, but I'm just a low-level employee at their subsidiary. I don't work at headquarters. What? You're not at headquarters? I never actually said that I worked at headquarters. True, but given how you always talk, anyone would assume. I mean, you're always talking about the big company you work at and how you've got a management position at the office. Shut up. So I exaggerated a bit. Everyone does that. It's not my fault. Wow, that angry response is so like David. It's interesting how siblings turn out so similar. I really did plan to pay for the renovations, but maybe not the whole amount. I was thinking of having David and our parents pay half. They won't be able to pay even half. What am I going to do? I went ahead and ordered some pretty luxurious specifications. By the way, would it be difficult to make the payments with just your income? Even though it's a subsidiary, having a parent company that's a major corporation and allowing remote work sounds like the benefits you get must be pretty decent. I could manage, but I'd have to put my entire salary towards the payments. Your entire salary? So that means living expenses would have to come from your parents' pension and David's part-time work. You'll need to be pretty strict with the budget. Hey, I'm just curious, but how much do you make? Since you said divorce wouldn't be a problem, you must earn quite a bit, right? I do all right. With recent raises, I'm making about $160,000 a year. What? I decided early on not to rely on David's income. It was tough, but living with your parents actually helped me focus on my career, so I'm grateful for that at least. Maybe you could help out a little? No way. After we get divorced, my ex-husband and his family will be strangers to me. I'm going to use every single penny I earn on my daughter and her future. Nothing else. So, good luck with the payments. I'm sure having a nice house will motivate you to work harder, especially with all those luxurious specifications. Jenny and her family quickly tried to cancel the renovation contract, but some work had already been arranged and couldn't be canceled. They had to go through with those renovations, and the whole family was left with a huge loan. To make the payments, David finally found a full-time job somewhere else. Jenny started doing freelance work on the side in addition to her main job. Their parents even started working at the local supermarket. As for me and Emma, we're living peacefully and quietly on our own without any trouble from her father's family. Now I can finally focus on spending quality time with my daughter and enjoying my own hobbies.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Hey, Clara. If you found yourself another boyfriend, you have to tell me that right away. We've been good friends ever since the two of us were little babies, right? And that's the whole reason why I won't tell you. Do you even know how many of my partners you've come and stolen from me now over the past 12 to 15 years? Ever since middle school, the moment you found out I made a boyfriend, you'd stab me in the back and steal him away from me. Well, you can relax now because I no longer plan to steal any more of your guys from you. Because soon I'm going to be getting married. Huh? You're getting married, Bailey? And not just that. The man I'll be marrying is the oldest son of a CEO. I'll be marrying the son of a very famous company, Green Holmes' CEO. Wow. So in other words, you'll be marrying into a really high-class family. And and the kind of family where you'll pretty much be set for life, right? I believe so, Clara. His dad is also really happy that I'm coming, and I'm happy that I've won the lottery with that family. My life is perfect right now. Well, that's really amazing for you, Bailey, and congrats on the marriage. I may not have many fond memories of you, thanks to you, but this is still something to celebrate about. Thank you. So now that you know how things are going with me, can you tell me a little bit about your guy? What kind of company is he working for, and what does he have to offer you? Oh wait, someone like you probably can't find a man that has anything to offer. Unlike me, you're just a little bit too ugly and can barely understand the meaning of the word cute, right? Huh? The last man I was with was just the same as you in every way. Actually, every man you've ever been with has had nothing good about them. And it's clear why they were all dating you in the first place. Weird that you say that when you went out of your way to steal all of them from me. So don't forget that means all your ex-boyfriends were also just as bad as mine. Huh? I never meant anything serious with any of those men back in the day. I never took a single one of them from you because I actually had any feelings towards them. I just decided to steal them because I found you a complete mess back then. What? Are you serious? Of course I am. There's no way a natural beauty like me would find any form of connection with any of those gross men from back then. If the person I'm with isn't on my level or better, then I'll never be able to find a way to love them. So then what was your reason for backstabbing me so many times back then? You must just like the toxic idea of being a total prick, and that's why you did it? I already told you, right? I did it because you were, and still are, gross. Unlike your gorgeous good friend, you are an ugly mutt. And back then, an ugly mutt like you getting a boyfriend before a beauty like me was unacceptable. You're kidding, right? That's the reason for stealing all those guys from me back then? I have always been looking for a man to fill my requirements that I could love. A man with a lot of money, who's both tall and handsome, and kind enough to spoil me to anything and everything I desire is the kind of man I'd been looking for. But a man of that level never seemed to appear in front of me for some time. Yet while I was struggling to find my man, you kept finding all kinds of guys to go out with. Seeing some gross loser being happy with all those men was disgusting, and that's why I stole them from you. What you're saying right now is just insane, Bailey. First of all, how would you ever find such a high-level man like that when everyone around us were all students still? That was pretty childish of me to think back then, wasn't it? But after all these years, I found my man. He and I have decided on marriage now, so whoever you date now has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to do something selfish like steal them from you anymore so you can relax. All right, I'll try my best to relax around you then. I can finally say that those days of losing my boyfriends to you are completely gone. Well, to be fair, I never actually want any more of your gross boyfriends around me. So now, have a great one with that nasty man of yours. I'm going to be preparing for a life of wonder and excitement with my handsome and wealthy man.
Clara, know that I'm never going to turn my back on you for any other woman, okay? Today I met with your best friend from back in the day, but she is in no way my type of woman, okay?
What?
You had told me about her a little before, right? You had a friend that was really good looking, and that anytime you got a boyfriend, she'd come and steal them from you. But you really don't have to worry about me. No matter how any woman tries to get me to be with them, I'm not going to stagger and will always be by your side. I cannot be fooled by any of them, so please don't worry about me.
Thank you, Lance. I'm sorry if I've been worrying a lot about things lately.
No, I'm your boyfriend after all, so it's my job to make sure you feel comfortable and can trust me. Once I finish up some of my work here, I'll be going right back home. I won't even give anyone the chance to go out drinking with me and trying to steal me from you. And to make sure of that, let's make sure to call and text every day. Doing that should give you a bit of relief, right?
I'm so thankful that you're thinking so much about me. But you don't have to do all that now. Bailey told me that this time she's getting married to the man of her dreams. And so she told me she won't be coming to steal you from me anymore.
Huh. Is that so?
Well, she told me that from the start, the only reason she'd go through all the trouble of stealing my boyfriends was because she could never find a man that she wanted. But now that she does have the man of her dreams and plans to marry him, I should be safe from her.
Are you telling me that that was her reason for hurting you so much back then? Something like that is totally screwed up and pisses me off. But I'm glad it all should be over. I guess we really don't have to worry anymore now, right?
At the moment, after talking to her a little bit ago, it seems the only thing on her mind is getting money from the guy. So I don't even think I'll ever have to talk with her again from now on.
Well, people changing a lot after marriage is pretty common, so she might just end up forgetting about you after. But that sounds like the perfect thing to me. Having one of the main problems in your life vanish will make me so happy.
That's right. She's always been the best looking in the class ever since we were little, and so it's natural for her to find a man that fits her character. And apparently he's the son of a CEO, and he works for that huge company, Green Homes, with Bailey's dad also working there.
Huh? Her dream man is at Green Homes? Is that what your friend told you today?
That's right. She seemed very confident in herself when she bragged to me about it. And apparently her dad has also been a pretty big man in the company, and I think still works there to this day. I remember her always talking about him when we were younger, so I believe they're all at Green Homes.
But that's a bit strange. I've not heard anything about that sort of stuff.
Huh?
I'm sorry to ask this, but can you explain what's going on in a bit more detail, please? That marriage that your friend will be having, I think I might have more to do with it than I first thought.
I'm not sure I get what you're saying, but okay. We can talk more about this in detail the next time we meet, okay? Clara! I'm sure that the invitation to my gorgeous wedding has arrived at your place, right? Yeah, the invitation that's all sparkly and covered in golds and silvers. I have never seen an invitation this gaudy before. Well, this is the wedding to the man of my dreams, so I had to make sure everything, and I mean everything, looks like lots of money. Just know that that's the least flashy thing about this wedding, okay? The wedding itself is going to be out of this world with expensive foods and drinks and all sorts of golden decorations. I guess the wedding of someone as elite as your fiancé has to be on a completely different level compared to everyone else's. I can even see that the place of the wedding is going to be at that very fancy and well-regarded church. I'm sure that everyone in the area will be made aware of a wedding like your guys's. So you should be thankful that I thought of inviting you to a wedding like this. You are my good friend, after all, so that's my reason for inviting you. If it wasn't for you being a good old friend of mine, I'd never invite some ugly mutt to my wedding. Ah, is that so? Well, I guess I am thankful that you thought of me. I think I'll be required to go to your wedding now. Well, if that's the case, make sure to RSVP as soon as possible. And the other thing is that the cost to get in is no less than $1,000. You're my good friend after all, so I'm sure you don't want to embarrass me, right? Huh? You want me to pay at least $1,000 to get in? Can't I just give you a well-thought-out present or something else? No, it's the money or no entry. And that shouldn't be a problem. I went out of my way to invite you to such a gorgeous wedding after all. And to be able to afford such a wedding, we ask that all our guests pay up at least a little to be here. Seriously? But because of that price, I'll make sure to give you all a wedding to remember. I'll make sure that the wedding hall is filled with all the finest flowers and decorations. And the food will be prepared by a 3-star Michelin chef. And my fiancé said he'll have a lot of his friends coming to the wedding as well. So that has to mean a lot of other well-off young men and celebrities will be there. So paying $1,000 for something as amazing as the wedding should be an easy payment to make, right? And that really is amazing. I never thought there could be a wedding as spectacular as you're making yours sound. Well, this is for the son of a large company CEO, so of course the wedding has to be outstanding and expensive. So make sure to help support us with that $1,000 entry fee. At least this one time you won't be some gross woman, but rather my good friend from way back. So I expect at least $1,000 from you on the day of the wedding. I'm looking forward to the day of your wedding. And you cannot cancel before the wedding after already RSVPing, okay? So don't make any excuses like not having the money before my wedding, okay? If you in any way cause me some kind of embarrassment, I will never be able to forgive you. I'm not going to cancel on you, so don't worry about it. This kind of wedding is going to be crazy with the amount of laughter coming from it, so I can't miss it. So don't feel as though I'd want to miss a single second of it. Huh? What do you mean this wedding is going to be crazy with laughter? I'm not trying to make some joke out of this wedding, Clara. No, don't worry about that. Now, I look forward to seeing you on the day of your wedding. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this huge wedding with the man of your dreams will turn out for you. Wait, what the hell is going on here? What do you mean that my fiance isn't the man of my dreams and isn't the next CEO of that company? Why is he just the son of some small contracting firm? Why do I have to marry some loser like him now? Now, calm down just a little, Bailey. You chose to get married to him in the first place, right? I heard that he was the son of a very large and well-off company, and that's why I wanted to get married to him. My dad told me that I'd be getting to marry the son of the CEO. And when I was going out to meet him for the first time, he was my type of guy and everything. And that's why I chose to marry him, but now I'm being told he's just the son of some contracting company CEO? This is the first time I'm ever hearing about this. Can you please calm down just a bit more? Your dad wasn't messing with you or anything when he showed your fiance to you. The man you are with just happened to have a lot of failures within the same company that your dad's at and was moved back to his father's smaller contracting company. That's all, Bailey. You, for some reason, just chose to think that he was the son of the CEO of Green Homes and not for one of the contracting groups there. I didn't even know something like that had happened within the company that my dad's in. My dad never told me anything about that sort of thing besides introducing me to the guy. Well, maybe that's because your dad is just like you, and his pride is just far too huge to handle. He just wanted to make himself look good to everyone else by bragging that you'd be marrying the son of the CEO at Green Homes. So I can see why he'd never tell you the truth about your man. And I mean, you're his cute baby girl, so he didn't want to hurt your feelings. I assumed that by being able to marry the man of my dreams, he'd be able to promote my dad and everything there. I just wanted everyone in my life to turn out happy from this marriage. Well, I think your dad is still happy with things, right? I just heard him talking with your husband's father just a second ago behind me. He said that after the wedding, he'd be allowing your dad to get a little bonus from his contracting group. And then they both thanked one another like it was some kind of a business deal. That means my dad was hiding all of this from me for himself. He forced me to marry this guy all so he could get a bonus? You really had no idea what you were getting into then. I understand that you want to blame your dad for all this, but isn't it also your fault for getting way too excited about something you didn't fully understand yet? I didn't do anything wrong, though. And I do not want to be married to some low-level son of some low-level contracting company. I have always been the best-looking woman around compared to everyone else. So the only man I should be getting married to are those on my level with lots of money and good looks. I cannot be married to some loser who's below me and doesn't have the money that I need.
I'm sorry, but you'll never be chosen by anyone who's the son of a large company CEO. After all, you're not my type at all.
Huh? Who is this? Who the hell is talking to me right now?
A little while back, you and I had met for a little bit, but I don't think you remember me. This is the man that is currently dating Clara.
Aha! You're that poor soul that's going out with that mutt Clara. I'm sorry, but I don't have the time to chat with someone like you. So can you shut up for me and hand the phone back to that hag?
I'm not just some random person to what's going on right now, and so I think I'll stay. Actually, I'm the son of the CEO of Green Homes.
Huh? You're the son? The son of the CEO of Green Homes? The poor loser that I saw a while back that's dating Clara is...
Yeah, I may be pretty plain, but I am his son. Yet somehow, over the past few weeks, it seemed as though there was some confusion and you thought you'd be getting married to me. Yet somehow, over the past few weeks, it seemed as though there was some confusion and you thought you'd be getting married to me. When I had first heard about that from Claire, I was shocked.
Huh? Wait, just 1 minute. There's no freaking way you're the son of Green Homes CEO. There's just no way that Clara could ever get a man like that to date her. And just a while back, she told me that the boyfriend was just some simple office worker.
That's right, and I'm just some simple office worker. I'm working in my dad's company right now, but I don't use the excuse of being his son to get any special treatments. So at the moment, I'm just some simple employee working for a super big company. And actually, to be honest, I've been keeping all of that a secret from Clara as well.
Excuse me?
But after hearing that you thought you'd be marrying me, I had to come clean with her and tell her that I'm the son of Green Home CEO. But at least this was all in good timing, so thank you. No, the two of us are going to get out of here. Clara just told me that she got to see the best part of the wedding already, and it's time to go home. And I only came to pick her up and leave.
Huh? Wait a second, please. The two of you are leaving now?
Please, continue to enjoy this rather expensive-looking wedding. Whether he's the son of a large company or a similar contracting company, he's still the son of a CEO. So congratulations on marrying him.
You give your boyfriend to me right now. I'm going to be the one getting married to him now. You only just got married yesterday, so what are you going on about? You already have yourself your dream husband now, right? That whole wedding, I canceled it. I'd never get married to a man that's beneath me. My dad was crying for me to stop doing all of that, but I canceled the wedding anyway and ran from there. Really? You ended up canceling that whole wedding after I'd left? So that's why I'm telling you to give me your boyfriend right now. If you're planning to tell me no, then I'll have to come there and steal him from you again. You can either be quiet and hand him over, or I'll come and take him from your crying hands. Now, choose which one you'd like to do. I'm not choosing either, actually. I'm not ever giving him to you, and he doesn't even want to be with you in the first place. And after we got back from your wedding yesterday, he ended up proposing to me. Just because he proposed to you doesn't mean that he won't still come to me. You may have forgotten this already, but I've stolen all of your other boyfriends in the past, so he'll be no different. So no matter how much you love your man and he loves you, I'll make him mine. I've had experience winning tons of men over to me, so I'll be able to get him without even breaking a sweat. I wonder about that. You only ended up taking 2 of my boyfriends away from me in the past. The other men that you took from me back then were just guys that I was in an open relationship with. Huh? What do you mean by open relationship? You always seemed so proud of yourself for stealing them from me, so I didn't want to say anything to you. But there was this huge rumor back in school about how any guy that started to date me would no doubt end up dating you soon after. Sort of like a thing where those guys had to date me first if they wanted a chance of being with you kind of thing. Anyway, all of those guys were in an open relationship with me, meaning I was totally fine with them going out with another woman, and usually when they did that, I'd let them go. And I was totally fine with it because they all really only wanted to be with me up until you came to take them off my hands. Excuse me? In middle school, that first guy I dated, I really was into and liked a lot. But after you took him from me, followed by also taking the next man I dated from me, I was left wondering if it was even worth it for me to date anyone else. But then that rumor started, and so I began to get all sorts of guys asking me out and wanting to date me in hopes of one day being taken by you. Really, you could say that I was the one that helped you get all those boyfriends. So, what you're saying is that most of those guys back then didn't even date you over anything serious? They were pretty much just with you to get me to notice them? I mean, I had fun hanging out with them and going on dates, but it never had anything to do with romance. Actually, I charged a few of them to date me, around $100 per guy. You got $100 for every guy that was with you? I said it as a joke at first, but then guys would actually hand the money to me while asking me out. So because of you being such a petty loser, I was able to make over $1,000. So that money I gave you to get into your wedding was pretty much that money I made off those guys back then. Like I said, I made over $1,000, so it was more than enough to pay my way into your wedding. Wait a second. So you're saying all those guys I stole from you wasn't due to me being sexy or anything like that? I did all of that with the intention of making you feel bad. Yet you didn't feel bad at all. Instead, you were making money off what I'd done. That's right. I didn't really take any damage from you. If anything, you were like my part-time job. What? All those guys only wanted to go out with me with the intention of you coming to steal them. So of course they went into your arms so easily back then. But now, the man I'm with is not like all those schoolboys. He loves me from the bottom of his heart. And I will never think about letting you have him. I'm sorry, but I don't think you'll be able to take him from me like all those other guys back then. Shut the hell up! So you lied to me all this time then? I can't believe that I was deceived by some ugly mutt all these years. I'm not going to be forgiving you for any of that. I can understand why you're mad at me right now, but you don't have the right to be blaming me for any of that. It actually hurt a lot the first time you stole my boyfriend from me. And when you stole my second boyfriend from me, that hurt even worse than the first. And now I'll never be able to forget the pain and sadness I had from when those 2 events happened to me. Shut up already. Of course I had to steal those guys from you because there was no way I'd let some gross chick like you have boyfriends before me. Yet you used that to play me like a fiddle in the end. You are the worst friend ever. Well, to you, maybe I'm a pretty bad friend. But since we both hate each other a whole lot now, we should give up on using that term, friend. So I'd like to recommend that we end things between us here. Huh? From now on, don't you ever send me any messages or anything ever again, okay? So now let's you and I go our separate ways and enjoy our lives. Bailey, have a good one. After that, according to things I'd overheard, it seems that Bailey was left having to pay for the whole wedding that she'd canceled. But she continued to say that she shouldn't have to pay for it, rather her dad should. And after trying to use that excuse so many times, she was kicked out of the house by her dad. Of course, this all caused the talks of her dad getting that bonus to go down the drain, and so he was furious with his daughter for what she'd done. This led to him pretty much disowning her, and she was on her own. But that wasn't enough to knock her down completely, and she told her dad that she'd go find her dream man on her own, saying that she was beautiful and it would be easy to get any man to marry her. And with that confidence in her, she went to all kinds of speed dating parties and stuff, but she never came out with anyone. I guess from all those fake men that she had supposedly stolen from me throughout high school, she had had no real dating experience with anyone. And because of that, she doesn't actually know how to pick up men of our age now that we're all adults. I think it's due to all that any guy she does get to talk to her immediately turns around and tells her that although she is pretty, she does not have the attitude of an adult woman. So now, Bailey's been left with very few men that are willing to be around her.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.